Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Yodaverse podcast. I'm Luke, and today's episode is going to be sort of a continuation of the episode for last week, which sort of laid the groundwork to what we're going to be talking about the next 2 to 3 weeks, which is around storytelling. So, in the last episode, I covered things around, characters and why stories matter and all that. And today, we're just going to take a deeper dive into characters themselves. Today is going to be a relatively short episode, not 17 minutes long like the other one, but we'll see. And we're just going to dive into, characters themselves and just go deeper into, why or how to build good characters for your stories if you're a storyteller, or how to identify good characters if you're a reader, or if you're a reader of books or watcher of movies, etc. And yeah, that's what we're going to be discussing today. And I hope that you enjoy doing so. So before we begin, be sure to like, subscribe, share with anyone who you feel this would be relevant to, and also comment any thoughts or questions you may have. As usual, all links for my social pages, both for my art and this podcast and the newsletter, will be in the description below. So have you ever finished a book or a movie and you're left thinking about a certain character? I'll use the example I used last week of Kung Fu Panda. When you watch the movie Kung Fu Panda, whether 1, 2, or 3, you're left thinking about certain characteristics of Po as a character, how he evolves as a character, and all that. So that's basically what good character is. A character so memorable that you think about them even while going through your daily life. So I have a few notes here that I've written up on what makes characters actually matter. So number one is desire and fear. Every character wants something, and every character fears something as well. Po wanted to be the Dragon Warrior, but he feared, basically, he feared failing, or feared a sense of rejection, from my perspective, or Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon. He wanted to be a great Viking just like everyone else around him, but he feared what others thought of him as a person, and that eventually influenced a lot of decisions that he made as the movie went on. Another thing is flaws and growth. Every character has something that's not right about them, and then every character has something that will take them out of that space to be able to become something better than they already are. Number 3 is relationships. The characters around your character, or the relationships that they form, whether father figure, mentor, mother figure, villain, literally any other character that they interact with, will influence the way they, go through their arc or their journey. Number 4 is choices under pressure. How do they make decisions when forced into situations? That's another definitive thing about your character, or a character. And then number 5, voice and personality. I feel like these ones are very essential. All 5 of them, yes, but number 5, especially voice and personality, is because think of your favorite characters from movies, books, games, etc., and think of them in different voices, or having the complete opposite personalities. So let's say you have a deep voiced Po, who is very egotistical, and or something like that. So voice and personality really matters, and I feel like voice is not just how they talk. I feel like voice is also attached to personality, which is the way they choose to articulate words, their pace of speaking, their form of speaking, etc. So I want to give an example of what, those are the 5 things that I believe make a character actually matter. which is desire and fear, flaws and growth, relationships, choices under pressure, and voice and personality. But what about a bad character? Just like I did in the last episode, I'm gonna read for you something, and you decide on your terms on what this could be potentially. So, bad character example. Okay, here's a character. Luna is the chosen one. She's beautiful, talented, perfect at everything. Everyone loves her. She defeats a villain in the first fight, then she becomes queen of the universe. The end. That's a bad character. And I said the same thing, similar with the example we used of the knight last week, the flawed knight. That's a relatively similar example, but I'm just using it to be able to explain what good and bad character build up looks like. So when you witness a character like this, it doesn't really make you care because there's nothing that has attached you to the character. The best thing about character development is making a character relatable in one way or another. As I said last week, everyone loves an underdog story. And the only reason that we do is because maybe you're experiencing your own, or you're in a place where you feel like you're meant for more and you're grinding and working hard at obtaining that goal, whatever it may be. That's relatable, and you want to be able to meet characters like those in the games, books, and movies that you interact with. So you have characters like Naruto who had big goals of becoming the Hokage, and you have hundreds of episodes worth of pain and failure. And those are just small examples of what that looks like. So the reason why this character is unrelatable, no flaws, no struggle, no emotional core, it's just there, just success from beginning to end. So now let's look at what a good character could entail. So let's try this again. Luna is a thief who wants to become a hero. But deep down, she believes she's not worthy of saving anyone. When her brother is kidnapped by the Empire, she has to make a choice: steal the artifact that could start a war, or risk losing the only person who ever believed in her. Now that gives you a sense of emotional depth and clarity as to why this character wants to do the things they have to do. And as I said, point number 4, making decisions under pressure. What will she do? Will she sacrifice and steal the artifact that would start a war? Or will she save the only person that ever believed in her, which is her kidnapped brother? That's someone you want to follow and get to know. How does the story end? And that's what good character development is, in my opinion, is having a character so good that you want to know how the story ends. She's flawed, she has a desire to save her brother, but also the pressure and fear that she's not good enough to do so, and also the pressure to steal the artifact. She'll be tested, and then eventually she'll grow. So another thing I wanted to share is, how do you bring your own characters to life? So there's a few things that I'd say if you're a writer, which is something that I decided to do while writing my own stories, is interview your character like they're real. So sit in a room in your head with your character and ask them questions about themselves. If you ask your character, what would you do in this situation? And just formulate questions for yourself as to what does this character's mind look like? So put them in a moral dilemma where they have to choose between what's right in their eyes and what's right for the greater good. That's a very interesting moral dilemma for your character to be in. Show us their relationships. Who are the people they're interacting with and how does it affect them? And then lastly, make them earn their wins. You can't have a character that succeeds from beginning to end. There has to be a sense in which the character works for that thing. And that's what makes your character believable. It's what brings them life and gives them breath. So at the end of the day, we don't just remember the battles and twists that our characters go through, but we remember how those characters made us feel. And at the end of the day, in regards to character development, whether from a design perspective or from a written perspective. It's about making the audience feel something. Relatability is what makes or breaks a character, or lack thereof. A lack of relatability breaks a character. A sense of relatability builds a character up and makes you love them. And the same applies to both heroes and villains, antagonists and protagonists. The same applies to both, because in every movie, the villain, there's something about the villain that makes you feel like, okay, they're not doing this for no reason. And I feel like that's a very important thing to talk about, or think about, think about in regards to character development. And yeah, that will be it for today. This has been fun. I really like talking about stories and characters. And as we move forward and go ahead with this series, which is probably like 2 or 3, let's say 3 or 4 other videos, I'd also want to slowly introduce you to my own characters, because I've written too many. So going forward, I'll be using my own characters as examples in, these videos, to be able to give you an idea of what my process is when it comes to conceptualizing a character. So this has been fun. I'm really enjoying doing this. Thank you for everyone who watches these videos or listens on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I am truly, truly grateful. That's been it from me. All social pages and links down below. Be sure to subscribe and comment what you think. Really looking forward to hearing from you. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Take care and goodbye.